We're back.
Hello again and again
and again. Guys, this is our
Hello.
third take. Mary and I have not recorded remotely in so long. We had some technical difficulties with the first two recordings. We made it like 10 minutes through twice and then got fucked. So we're back. It's working, I hope. We had to switch to Google Hangouts because Zoom kicked us out.
Because Zoom is charging people now. They're taking names and charging people.
Yeah, so we're here. Welcome back to another episode of the After School Special Club podcast. My name is Chris.
My name's Mary.
And this is your show for video game news, commentary, and stories from our stupid little lives.
Our little baby stupid lives.
Yeah, they're so tiny and insignificant.
Yeah, and they waddle around.
Yeah.
They're wearing a poopy diaper.
They are stinky. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is going to be a little chatty episode. You know, we haven't recorded in 3 weeks. So we decided to just kind of have a chill episode, take it easy, enjoy our new weird setup and get used to it. So
tops, no bottoms. Tops, no bottoms. That's what.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So I'm rocking with.
During Pride weekend, Mary.
Yeah. Gotta show my pride. My pride and joy.
Oh my God. Yeah. So how have you been?
It's crazy to think that it's been 3 weeks, first off. Like, there's just so much stuff that's happened since the last episode.
Not really doesn't feel like it.
Yeah. Not only in, like, video games. There's a lot of video game stuff that we're going to get into to kind of catch up on because there's so much that happened over the last 3 weeks. But as of yesterday, you know, very disappointing what happened with the Roe v. Wade being overturned. And I feel like it's aged me. And it's... Yeah. I feel like, you know, the pictures of presidents when they go in?
Yeah, the versus after.
Yeah, that's how I feel emotionally, physically, and mentally.
Just wrinkly and gray.
Just one day. That's all it took. Was like one day. I'm like, today of all days?
Yeah.
It could have been any day, but today of all days? Any day. But yeah, so yesterday really sucked. And, you know, it's hard to talk about still because I feel like I'm still processing it. As a human being, but also as a woman. But right. I'm still a human being even though I'm a woman. So
not according to this.
Well, gotta pack my bag. I'm gonna pack my vagina in my bag. Head on out.
Over the shoulder. Well,
well, this is my missus right behind me.
Yeah. I know it just sucked. Like because yesterday I was also off of work, and so I woke up and it was like the first thing I saw, and I was like doom scrolling on Twitter, just like reading the news and then reading like people's feelings and thoughts about it and trying to grapple with like my own thoughts and feelings around it. And, you know, obviously it doesn't affect me in the same way that it affects, you know, people with vaginas, you know, who
present.
Yeah. In the room right now. But I still have, you know, an incredible amount of obviously sympathy and, you know, care for people. And so it sucks and like really bogged me down. And it's just, I can't say I'm surprised. Like I was talking to one of our friends yesterday when she was over, and we were all just kind of like, we're not surprised. You know, it's like ever since, you know, 2016, like we were talking about earlier before the recording got cut off, Zoom. You know, ever since Trump and ever since the people that he's put into positions of power, like it's just all been downhill. And like, you know, we saw this coming. Like, it's not surprising to me. And I don't even think I'm disappointed because, again, like we knew it would happen. And so I'm just sad, I think, more than anything. And yeah, I think it's just important for us to talk about it and, you know, do something about it. Which talking about it is doing something. I think a lot of people feel like, you know, want to demonstrate or protest and, you know, they don't, and then they feel guilty. But, you know, talking about it and bringing it up in conversation and having real conversations about it, I think is just as important. So talk about it. Talk about your feelings. Ask people how they're doing. Make sure the people in your lives who this affects more than other are okay, and offer them support however you can.
Yeah, it's all about being here for each other, because we're the ones we could trust, is like our communities. Like, we're the ones who are going to be there for us when the shit hits the fan, because the shit has hit the fan.
Yep.
And
there's
really
shit spraying all over
everywhere.
Us right now.
Just
I'm covered in septic.
Yeah,
grossness.
Shit shower. It's a shit shower right now. And I was talking to you, earlier, because I feel like yesterday I found out at work, and that made it. I don't know if that made it worse or better. I don't really know, but I just saw people's faces, and it reminded me of, what you were talking about when Trump got elected. And the day after that happened, the night before, I had drunk a whole bottle of wine in one sitting, because I was like screaming and ranting, going like, they're gonna get rid of Roe v. Wade. They're gonna overturn it. They're gonna get rid of it. And I was like saying that stuff then. And then the person I was talking to at the time was like, no, they can't. They won't. They absolutely can't. No, they legally, they're not allowed to. All this kind of stuff. And I was like, no, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And it did. And like you said, like, it's just expected at this point.
Yeah.
And that's really sad that that's where we're at right now. But it is where we're at right now. And we have to kind of meet ourselves where we're at now.
Yeah.
And like do something about it now.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are processing their feelings about it. And like me as a woman, I'm definitely very angry. I think I'm more angry than sad right now. I think I'm in that phase of mourning, mourning how it was, for that time where we were protected. I mean, I know other states right now, they've been this way for a while now, like southern states and like more conservative states. So I'm very lucky and grateful that I live in California. I don't have any plans of moving anytime soon outside of California.
God, no.
The whole, like, half the country is like off limits to me, because I'm like, I want to go somewhere where I'm treated like I'm human. I can't go there. I can't even go home. Ohio's off limits.
Yeah. Was Ohio Ohio? Was Ohio one of the trigger states where it's just like immediately?
That's what I was trying to look into, because I know Michigan was, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So I was looking, and if Michigan was, I'm assuming Ohio would be too, because Ohio's a swing state, but they are morally conservative when it comes to like reproductive health and reproductive rights. Right. More conservative on the whole. So on the whole.
On the whole. Get it?
It's too early. But I did it anyway. Yeah, I'm not sure. I wouldn't be surprised if they are, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sucks. It really sucks. But we need to keep, as hard it is to say, things keep happening. We're like, let's keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going. Because that's been our motto ever since all this shit happened. Like recession, pandemic, women's rights going away. It's just so much compiled, and it's just the only choice we have is to do what we can for ourselves, take care of ourselves, take care of each other. There are good people in the world that are trying to make good changes happen from this. Yeah. And there are people that are going to defend the rights no matter what happens. Yeah. And they're going to help people that need it. And that's the most important part. It's like, you can try to do this. You can try to instill this horrible forced torture, I would say. I think it's torture. This forced torture onto people. But there are going to be people who are going to pick those people up. And that is more spiritual than this false ideology that they have from a so-called religious perspective. Right. Anyway.
Yeah. And just also, like take your time, process it, but also, be educated and learn about why it's so important, because it's not just about, abortions for, not having kids that you don't want or can't take care of, but there's medical conditions in which abortions are the safest way to protect the person who needs it, and without abortions they will die from these conditions. And so it's more complicated than just birth and pro-life stuff, so I think just being educated and realizing it also affects a lot of other things are intertwined in this. And it's like also what's next, right? Because one of the justices literally said, next we should examine LGBTQ laws, you know. So I'm like, cool, I guess I won't be getting married ever or being able to adopt anymore. That's sick. So yeah, it's definitely going to continue to be a catalyst for other terrible things. So
Yeah, because now they're like, we got this through. We
right,
can
we
get
can do
anything
anything.
through. And just like anger. Just like straight up pure anger.
I've been having those like, I wish like all of the justices would just die thoughts, which like I never would. I don't have, not the type of person to wish death on other people. I'm just angry and like I'm mad.
No.
Like I'm mad that like people who literally could like trip and fall and die tomorrow are the people who are like making these decisions for our country. I'm like, these people are like all of the justices are probably what, like between their 70s and 80s.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think there's that woman, I forget her name.
Yeah.
She's like little, like 50s or 60s, but
still.
yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Like, and it's like 75% of the United States.
Right.
Too. Like they don't agree with this, and that doesn't matter. Majority doesn't matter in this situation.
So, but yeah.
And I was thinking about like doing, I think it'd be a funny idea to have like a skit, and I feel like SNL might do this or something, where they have all the judges, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think, how many are there total? Are there
10? No, 15?
9?
16?
Well, they're all sitting, and it's sitting like because I've been actually watching the news coverage of the trials that are going on right now about the election and the January 6th. But anyway, so all of the judges are sitting there and the cameras are on them. And then there's just like a person, maybe it's a man, maybe it's a woman, or it doesn't really matter. And they're holding like this pointer, and they have a picture of a woman's anatomy, like a big like blowout picture of it, and like a vagina, and like a butthole, and like everything. And they're pointing to different parts of the body, going like, what does this do? What's the function of this? And the judges have to answer in like an interview type of style. And they point to the clitoris, and they're like, what does this do? What's this here?
What's this?
And then one of them is like, I think that's purely decorative. I think that's just for decoration. And then the woman, the only woman who's on there, I think, or one of the women on there who voted for it, they just agree with everything they say.
Right.
She's like, oh yeah, it's just decorative. I hang stuff on mine. It's okay. Yeah, they're totally right. Totally right. And because that's how it feels. It's like these people are deciding. They don't even know how these things work. They don't know how the women body like works. And if you take that diagram and you like show them like, do you know the anatomy? They'll be like, I don't know. It's not important right now. Don't politicize my knowledge.
Oh, it's so annoying.
Yeah. But I was thinking about that. I was daydreaming about like.
The SNL skits are going to be lit though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, yesterday, the Reductress, like Instagram and like their website was just popping off. They were hilarious. Yeah, I'm sure the Onion is going ham. Like all the like satire sites I need to check in on, because I feel like that's what I need right now is like comedy, because that's how, you know, I assuage all of my negativity. So
that's how I do it too.
Yeah. But yeah, we just want to talk about it a little bit and get our feelings out there. I think it's important, you know, even on a show like ours where, you know, we talk about games and like shoot the shit and have fun. Like it's really important. And so, you know, we wanted to make the space to talk about it for a little bit before we dived into what we normally talk about on the show. Yeah,
it's important to talk about this. Also, I do want to bring up some of the headlines from The Onion mocking.
Oh, please, before we continue.
Just a little snippet. You can look into it. But this is from Variety. And The Onion savagely mocks Supreme Court Roe v. Wade ruling with homepage takeover. And one of them is Supreme Court votes 5-4 to lock nation's toddlers in hot cars. Supreme Court votes 5-4 to drive slowly alongside women walking home alone at night. Supreme Court rules 5-4 to add Jesus into all paintings. Supreme Court votes 5-4 to throw beer bottle at slut.
I think I saw that one.
That's so good. That's good. Yeah, there's some positive stuff. We're gonna rise. We're gonna rise.
Violence is the answer.
Oh yeah.
Whatever happened to assassinations? Well,
It's
the
still
FBI
done.
just flagged this podcast.
Yeah, they're like, well, that's only we can know about that.
Only we can conduct assassinations and blame it on someone else.
Yeah, exactly. It still happens, you know. It still
it's
happens.
just controlled by the government and covered up.
And
Anyway, this is a conspiracy podcast now.
X-Files theme plays.
Dun, dun. Oh, that was Law and Order. I was like, dun, dun.
It's a crossover between X-Files and Law and Order. They try to like police aliens. They're like,
Wow.
so
We should write that show and pitch it.
this UFO landed on my territory. This is my jurisdiction.
This UFO landed on your mom.
SVU.
Dun, dun.
Dun dun.
Anyway, we'll move into some video game stuff. That's why you guys are here. But thank you for listening to us, right?
Yes.
So I actually, now again, because this is not a normal episode, it's just going to be very chatty. I did not do any notes. I didn't write anything. So is there anything you wanted to bring up to jumpstart us off?
Well, I do want to bring up, it is related to what we were talking about before, but kind of in a better aspect.
Mm-hmm.
There are some game companies that are coming out and siding with people that are going to be affected by this happening yesterday. And I know Naughty Dog is one of them as well.
Yeah.
But basically, some of these game companies are saying that they're going to help women or help people that need abortion access and like paying travel fees, essentially, like reimbursing them. Yeah. And I know a lot of companies are starting to do that, which is really powerful because you're putting the power. They technically can't do anything about that. I think it's like a private organization.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure they're going to do it in a way where it's like a bonus. Like they're not going to blatantly say what it is about, but they're going to be like, here's a bonus for like $2,500.
Right.
Do what you need to do. And I think that's really cool that games, like video games, are tied to that. And it just like speaks to the gaming community as a whole.
Right.
Because I feel like gamers, they all take care of each other in some ways.
Yeah.
I know it can be very volatile. I know there's another side of it. And there's a lot of toxic stuff. However, I do think that when everyone's talking about games and everyone's passionate about games, there's no better place I would rather be.
Yeah.
Because those type of people are so in it, you know, and they want to help. They want to help people through their games. They want to help people through their lives, their depression, their anxiety. Like, they want to help so much. And I think this just speaks to it as well. Yeah. So I did want to talk about that.
Yeah, I saw, because I follow a bunch of studios on Twitter. So I saw Naughty Dog, Insomniac, Santa Monica Studio, Bungie.
Yeah.
I mean, and like tons of others too, obviously. Like, they're not the only ones. But yeah, I saw them come through on Twitter and, you know, all of like the gaming site, I don't know, like, you know, like Giant Bomb and like Kind of Funny and, you know, those kinds of groups too, posting stuff like in support. And yeah, it's just really good. And like you said, like there are definitely the toxic side of video gaming, but I feel like it's more and more, it's very small, you know, or maybe just we're not in it and we don't participate in those spaces where it's more pervasive. But I do definitely see like all of the love that like people like us and, you know, people who are passionate about games are putting out there and supporting each other. And it just like, it does make me happy because that's what we need right now. And so, yeah, it's been really great. It's all that's been on my Twitter feed. So I see a lot of it and it makes me happy.
Yeah. Surround yourself with love right now. That's what
Positivity.
we need. Yeah. But besides that, I feel like there's been a lot of stuff that has happened with video games. I mean, there was Key 3 that happened.
Yeah.
And Day of the Devs. Just all the news, all the game news. There
Xbox
was a direct
showcase, every showcase
imaginable. There was a direct that I didn't care about because it was about a Weeb game, Xenoblade.
Yep.
That's the Weeb game that a lot of people are like and are obsessed with, which I respect that you're obsessed with it if you are. However, that's not a direct I need right now. I need a good direct.
What I want to talk about, bitch, these Final Fantasy VII announcements.
Oh yeah,
and it's so funny because we, like, Mary and I historically have shat on the Final Fantasy VII remakes so much.
Oh yeah,
because we're like diehard fans of the OG, like because of the narrative and like we don't know where the hell they're going and what direction they're taking, and so we did not like how they changed the narrative and are doing this weird time travel, like weird. I don't even know at this point what they're doing, but that's why Mary and I were so like I think we both agree that like the gameplay is really great and the graphics are awesome, but I think we were both just always like, what are you doing with the story? This isn't the story that like I'm used to, that I want. But
yeah, I would play through it and then I would skip the cutscenes or like not pay attention to the
Yeah.
cutscenes. I would just be like, I'm not invested in this.
no,
But it's fun. Like, it's great looking. Looks
Yeah.
fantastic. It's great for a tube game.
Yeah.
And I had a really fun time playing it. But absorbing it and like the lore of it, I could care less.
Yeah.
Could
but
care less.
then we get these Final Fantasy announcements. So for anyone who missed it, the second part of the Final Fantasy remake series, I guess it's going to be 3 games, is something that they announced in the showcase that they did. So the second installment in this new like mainline game series is coming out next year, in the next winter.
Yeah, it's called Rebirth, I think.
Yeah, Rebirth. But then they're redoing Crisis Core.
Yeah, that's the
and it's
exciting
coming out
news.
this winter.
Yeah.
Bitch!
That's amazing.
Because
Yeah.
I think I've told you before, and I might have talked about it on the podcast, but like, I fucking love Crisis Core.
It's a goodie.
Like, it's so fun. I love Zack. I love you get the background of Cloud and Zack's story. The ending of Crisis Core makes me cry every fucking time, in the same way that like the ending of Final Fantasy X makes me cry every time. It's so good, and so I'm so excited to get it. And it's a remake. Like, they weren't saying it was remastered. Like, it's a total overhaul. So I'm really excited for that, because even in the small snippets that we saw, it does look like they're being faithful to... I can't say the story because I don't know if they're going to fuck with that, or if they're actually just going to leave it, which I really
That's
hope
what I
they
was going
do.
to ask, because I'm not sure. I'm on that part.
Yeah. But it did look like they're being faithful to like the combat system, because I saw it still had the like roulette thing in the corner, and like your magic equipped, like your materia magic equipped and whatever. So I was like, it does look like it's going to be faithful to the original, which makes me really happy, because yeah, I love Crisis Core, and I don't know, I'm like, great, I'm going to fucking bawl my eyes out again. Let's go.
Or maybe they'll change the ending. Maybe
I'd be really pissed.
Maybe
but that's the other thing.
Sephiroth thinks that he's Zack.
Whoa. Wow.
And Cloud thinks that he's Tifa.
Yeah, that's
and
the
Aerith,
other thing.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but Aerith lives. I already know that's gonna happen. Aerith's gonna live.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like I really hope that they don't fuck with it, but I'm like, are they going to use it as a device that connects to the new narrative that they're developing with the mainline games, or is
That's
it
what I
actually just
think.
going to be a separate remake? Because again, like, I don't know, because we didn't really get much clarity into the direction the story is going into in Rebirth.
But I feel like it would help. It would help if they redid everything, the storyline for Crisis Core,
Right.
into the new one, because it would fit along the same timeline as the Rebirth when it comes out.
Right.
So I think it would make sense for them to redo it, because then they could kind of tie in their remake of Crisis Core.
Right.
And
But
kind
then
of
I'm
be like,
also like, we don't know what the nature of like the second game, because I feel like this Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is going to be like the meat and potatoes of the story, because it's the middle game. So I feel like it's going to be yeah. And so I feel like it's going to be where all of the like new narrative stuff happens, where you're actually out exploring the world and you're not just stuck in Midgar, and like, because the whole first game was literally just in Midgar.
Yeah.
And I think they were using it as a means to set up the characters and the story. But I'm excited to actually be able to go and explore the world. I'm excited to see how they remake some of these places that you can visit in the game. And like, again, just really super fucking curious what the hell the plot is going to be.
Yeah.
Because Rebirth, I'm imagining, again, like, I mean, it could be anything, right? Because there is already a through line of Rebirth in Final Fantasy VII with like Jenova and like Sephiroth and all that stuff. So I'm like, is it about Sephiroth? I'm like, is it about Aerith? Is it about Zack? these pivotal characters who like are dead, should be dead.
They're like Cloud's boring. You don't
Cloud's
want to know
boring.
his
Let's
perspective.
So-
You know his story. We got to go to these other stories. You already know his story.
Right. So I'm just like, I am very curious also what this theme of rebirth is going to be, and like who is being rebirthed.
I'm being rebirthed into a Final Fantasy VII remake fan. Never. Maybe.
That should be our clickbait.
It should be.
That should be our clickbait title and thumbnail.
Yeah. But I do think that rebirth is going to be like a tube-like.
Yeah.
A Souls-like tube-like. And I'm interested to see how they do like the traveling to the different like locations in the game. I wonder if it's going to be just like a cutscene, or if it's going to be like
loading screen,
a loading screen, or like something on the screen you can like click and
right.
You know what I mean?
Because they had loading screens in the remake.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I would imagine it'll just be like a boop boop. Because I also think like after Final Fantasy 15, I think Square Enix is like, no more open world Final Fantasy.
Yeah, they couldn't even make a full game open world. They had to cut that off halfway through and be like, yeah.
And 16 is not open world either. So I think they're probably, with the remakes, just going to have it be like a fast travel situation. Or maybe there is an airship.
I mean, I hope that there's an airship.
I do, because that's the other thing is like, I do wonder about like the auxiliary characters, like, because Yuffie and Vincent and Sid, or is it just you? I know Yuffie and Vincent are optional characters in the game.
Yeah.
Is Sid an optional character?
I don't think Sid's
I don't think so, because you have to get the airship.
Yeah, and you have to go to that town and like interact with his storyline.
Right.
So I feel like that was not optional.
Right. And so I'll be curious, because like I don't want them to cut any characters out of the series. And so I will be curious, like I have a feeling that they're going to incorporate Yuffie and Vincent as like characters and not as optional characters, because I feel like it'd be weird for them to completely cut them out. But I don't think that they would make them like discoverable optional characters like you could in the first game.
Yeah, because that'd be too invasive. It would need to be a little bit more in the forefront.
Because they're definitely like garden pathing us, right? Like it's not open world. We don't have like, it's like you said, tube, which is
the walking simulator of Final Fantasies.
Right. Which is fine. But because of that setup, I don't think that they would have them be discoverable characters. And I think that I also don't think that they would just cut them out, because they're both of them I feel like are fairly popular Final Fantasy characters.
Oh, for sure. Oh my gosh, Vincent.
I had a big old crush on Vincent when I was a little boy.
Me too. That cape over his face, I would draw him, like, because I was really
draw me like one of your French girls.
Draw me like one of your anime girls.
Draw me like one of your experiments.
Yeah, experiment 13. That's another thing. Sorry, side note. I hope we get to play as Red 13.
Same, because we couldn't in the first one, right?
Yeah, no.
He was the only character you couldn't switch to.
Yeah, which like bummed me out. So I really hope you can do that in Rebirth. However, what I was going to say about... What was I going to say? Chris, I got off track, and now I don't know where the train is. Where's that train of thought? I don't know where the train of thought went.
It left the station without you.
It did. Something about oh yeah, Vincent. I used to draw him, like the concept art. Yeah. I would just trace the concept art and like add the embellishments and stuff, and then like, oh, Vincent, my husband. I'd be like, marry Vincent,
please.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So I feel like they won't cut them out of the game. I feel like they'll incorporate them somehow, but we also haven't seen any previews of them yet. They're the only characters, like them and Sid and Kate Sith are the only characters we haven't seen yet.
Kate Sith, if they cut him out, I won't be too mad. I won't be that mad.
I agree. He was I never put him in my party.
He was my queena.
I was just gonna say that. I was like, he's my queena. Like, I never put him in my party.
No.
Always was like stuck at level 28 when my other characters were level 64.
Yeah, I would forget. And it's funny because like also Queena is from Final Fantasy 9, if no one knows. I feel like those characters, though, get so brokenly powerful. And they're probably they're like the super powerful ones. And like we don't even know it because we're just like letting them sit.
Yeah, I'm like,
I don't want to.
But then, like, when you have to play as them, like, because Final Fantasy IX would have situations where, like, your party would split up, and then you would have to play as them. And then I would be like, fuck.
Yeah,
But
they're
I'm
so
not
low.
strong.
Yeah, they're so weak. It's all my weaklings. And, like, I wouldn't even give them, like, the beastie, like, equipment. Because I don't want to, like, do my resources. I'd always, like, give the best equipment to the people that I loved on my team.
Right.
And they'd get the worst of it. And I'd be like, ah, crap. Well, I guess I got to level with this character I don't care about for another hour or two. Yeah.
And I also, this is a quick tangent before we go back to Final Fantasy VII. I did something completely out of character the last time that I played Kingdom Hearts 2. Because I was playing a couple weeks ago. I gave equipment to Donald and Goofy.
What? What are they going to do with it? They're going to throw it away. They're going to be like, here you go, Zora.
Here, potion. And I'm like, I don't need a potion, Donald.
They put the shield on the people you're fighting. They're like, here you go.
Here you go. No, I did because I wanted to give them more AP. Because I wanted to be able to equip all of their abilities.
That's fair. I feel like that's very fair.
I feel like this is how you should play this.
Yeah.
I mean, once I got Riku in my party, I gave him everything, of course. But, like, Donald and Goofy, I was like, fine, here you go.
Take these. Take these with you.
I know. You're going to be dead half of the time in battle anyway, so just whatever.
Yeah, they have to have protection because they're just going to die. So,
and they still do even with it. So,
testament to their stupidity.
Yeah, but yeah. So I don't know. Again, like I just really wish we knew more about the storyline direction for Final Fantasy Rebirth. Because I'm just like, is Aerith gonna die? Is she gonna not die?
Yeah, because that excerpt
is that
from
coming back to life? Because they like insinuated that, or I don't know. Maybe
they did with her speaking because she was like, "I saw you, I was dead," and he's like, "What?" Cloud's like, "What?"
He's like,
and
"Damn,
then,
that's crazy."
Oh, wow, it sounds so hard. Must suck.
So yeah, I'm just like, I don't know what's gonna happen.
I feel like they're gonna hint at letting her live, but she's gonna die. But her death
that'd be really funny. They're like, Aerith lives, and then she's still like,
yeah, but she dies a more horrible death. Like it's
it's more violent and grotesque.
She gets like stabbed, beheaded, and then run over by like a truck. It's like beep beep. Cloud's like, and like the summon that she drops just gets like crushed.
Oh, that's the other thing. Because what's gonna happen? Like, is Meteor still coming? Because I think they showed a shot of the meteor.
Yeah, that is interesting. They'd cut it out. They're like, we don't need it.
And that's like such a huge part of the story.
Yeah, it's part of the symbol. They're using the symbol still in the.
But it's not actually in the game.
They're like, nah. You don't need that.
I feel like that'll be like the third installment of the game. Will be like the fourth disc where it was like Meteor was impending. Mm-hmm. But you're like, I'm gonna go level. Can I go level up? I want to fight Emerald Weapon, and the Meteor's like, and I'm like, what about Ruby Weapon? I'm like, please hold. That was always my favorite part about like the ends of those 4-disc games, where it's always like the fourth disc is the impending doom is coming, but it's also where you have the freedom to do whatever you want. So I would like in 9 and like 7 and like all of them, like just go run around and like level up and go do all like the secret missions and stuff like that. But then it's like 7, I always laughed because I just imagined like Meteor is just like
and just like golden saucer, just like riding chocobos.
And I'm like, wee.
It's like, wow, I got the best one. I hope that they have the golden saucer.
Oh my god,
they have to, because that's gonna look amazing. I hope they have chocobo racing.
Oh my god,
they better have chocobo racing, because Final Fantasy VII, I feel like had the best chocobo like level up, chocobo situation going on, because that was fun. Yeah, like getting that. Was it the black chocobo or the golden chocobo? The golden chocobo that was the highest.
Because I think it was black was like the second highest, then golden.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I think I like the black. The black chocobo was my favorite.
Same.
And it reminded me of the black chocobo that was in Final Fantasy 15. Mm-hmm. The little baby one.
I know it. They're so cute.
The little baby black chocobo. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
This is my favorite.
Chocobos in Final Fantasy 15 were cute.
Yeah, I love them so much. I would take so many pictures,
Oh my God, I know.
because you could take pictures of them. But anyway, got kind of off track. I'm excited about the Rebirth. Just to play it. But
I'm gonna play it no matter what.
Yeah, but my
I'm
expectations are tempered. Like my expectations are very low for like the storyline, but very high for the gameplay.
Yes.
So that's it. Storyline, gameplay.
Also, I keep forgetting to look at the camera.
Me too. I keep looking at you because I'm used to I have to look at someone.
I know when I'm talking to them.
I can't just look at a machine.
But I want this in the background.
Machine. Yeah.
Oh, I should have closed my closet door. Oh well.
We see your closet.
So
you have clothes in there? Chris, how dare you?
Look at these clothes. Look at this PS5.
Ooh. Look at this guitar.
A
guitar. But actually, so yes, all the announcements are happening. Final Fantasy announcements, all those things. There's so many announcements that we can't even possibly talk about all of them on one episode. And if we did, I think that time is gone because everyone else knows about it now. So it's
it's
old news. I'm really excited about what Day of the Devs had going for them. That was my favorite presentation.
I actually haven't watched it yet.
It's really good. I recommend watching it because those games, I think honestly I got the most excited for them out of all the presentations. Even though Xbox did a really good job, I will say Xbox did a really good job.
It's time to become an Xbox fan.
It's true. PlayStation was, but yeah. So there are a lot of games that are coming out, like indie games that I'm really excited about. There's one about The Fly. I don't know if you heard about that one. Where it's like this really simple, simply drawn game where it looks incredibly minimalist and you play as a fly. And it's basically like a speedrun game in a way because you, depending on where you live, so if you live in the UK, if you live in the United States and where you live and you put it in there, that actually is how much time you have as a fly to live, your life expectancy.
Oh.
And you play as this fly, and basically you're trying to get your bucket list before you die. So you have a timer, and you're trying to get as many things done as possible in this short amount of time. And you just constantly have these runs that you do, kind of like speed running.
You constantly have the runs.
Constantly have the runs. There's a fly. Oh God. Flying through the air, be like, that fly is shitty. Never seen that. But yeah, that game looks really good. And there's another game where you play as I guess this frog type creature, and you jump into shadows. So you're only in the shadows. And the game's design and world looks really beautiful and artistic. And yeah, you can only hop, and you can hop on shadows that are moving. So if there's a cat and the cat has a shadow, you can jump onto the cat's shadow and
cool.
ride the cat's shadow until you get to a bus or it's really cool. I recommend looking into that presentation because that's what I'm most excited about.
Yeah, it's the only one that I didn't watch.
I actually bought a game that was on one of the announcements a year ago when the Game of the Year awards and all Summer Games Fest last year was really big. Was Behind the Frame. It's a Switch game.
Oh, and I feel like I heard about that.
Yeah, it's like a Ghibli. It looks very Ghibli like.
Right. Yeah. I think I remember that one.
And it's about a painter and there's cats in it. I mean, need I say more? God. I'm gonna buy it. I knew I was gonna buy it. God. It was cheap, and so I bought it on Switch and I played through it. It's only 2 hours long. So,
perfect.
Yeah, because I didn't realize that it was on PC before, and supposedly with the when it came out for Switch, there was a DLC added to both versions of it, and I didn't know that. So I played it through, beat it, and then in the screen it had a name of a character just illuminated on the main screen after the credits, and I was like, huh. So I just clicked on it, and then it's from the other person's perspective.
God, I love that.
You play the game through it all as another. So it's really 4 hours long, or 3.5 or whatever. But that game is the most depressed I've been. That game is so depressing, and I did not expect that from any of the advertisements. I was expecting a cute artist cat game where you play as an artist and it's pretty and it's gorgeous and there's cats. And wow, that fucked me real hard. And I don't think I've been that depressed about a game since like Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
And because it speaks to loneliness in such a powerful way.
Mm-hmm.
And it not only that, it speaks to giving up on your dreams and like giving up on
God.
your goals and what that does.
Yeah.
And like the domino effect that has, and how other people can move on and like, and people can get stuck. And it's about being stuck. But that's only one of the perspectives. The other perspective, they're actually like growing and like, you know, it's just so well done, like psychologically. But at the same time, I was like, oh, I was crying. I was like, I can't do this. I had to put it down. I had to put it down for like a couple hours. I was like, I can't play you right now. I'll come back to you. Don't you worry. But right now, I'm not playing you. So I beat it from one of the perspectives, and I still have to beat it from the other perspective.
And you're like,
I don't know if I want to. But the game's beautiful. It's gorgeous. It does look like a Ghibli movie. And the cats are cute. So.
Yeah, that reminds me of I just grabbed my Switch because I also, and I think I told you about this in person, but I don't think it was on the podcast because I don't think we had recorded since then. But yes, that's what it's called. Okay, but I did a similar thing where I downloaded this indie game from the Nintendo eStore called The First Tree, where you play as a fox, and I was like, oh, we get to play as a fox.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And then it turns out that it's a narrative about this man's relationship with his father, and his dad has passed away. And so you as this fox, like he's narrating over you playing as a fox. And then you are in the forest digging up like memories, like kind of like it's very, I don't know, like symbolic. Like you're like digging up memories and items, and the whole time like he's narrating like you doing this and what those items meant. And it was just like, yeah, all about his relationship with his dad and his dad passing away and like him dealing with those feelings. And I was just like, fuck, like I didn't know that was what this was going to be. And like, yeah, it was just another like, 90-minute 2-hour game. Right. But I was just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Super, super beautiful, good soundtrack and, sad narrative, but I liked it, but I was also like, I wasn't expecting that. So I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like some of these indie games, they just like, pow,
they're like,
right to the heart. And also I've seen this like pattern of more indie developers creating these games that are very heart-wrenching or like very provocative with their intention and like what they're talking about and their message.
Yeah.
And I feel like the more higher you get like AAA games, they speak less and less of that.
Yeah.
To a certain extent. Because
sorry, go ahead.
Well, because I feel like they're just trying to cater to a larger crowd. They're trying to cater to like a bigger audience. So, I feel like they need to kind of dial that stuff down. Not that they don't talk about it, but I feel like indie games are where people can really get out their emotions. They can get out their feelings. They can get out life experiences, and make it so relatable because it's very human and realistic.
Right.
And I think that's really powerful. Also, sorry, the game that I was talking about before with the shadows, you hop between shadows, is called Shim. It's called Shim. Yeah. But yeah.
Cool.
So you also got an indie game that was gut-wrenching, surprisingly.
Me sad, yes. Yeah. But I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. I get to play as Fox. Nope. I mean, no, I played as a fox, but and I was like, it was like nighttime too. I was like sitting on the couch, like in the dark playing it. And I was like, this is sad. But I liked it. So,
that's good.
I also,
yes,
I betrayed you and I played the quarry.
Grass. No, I knew you would.
Yeah, I'm like Mary knows that I'm going to.
I know you. Like I was like, right when I texted you, I was like, we should play this together. I was like, Chris is definitely playing this tonight or like this week.
And I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I beat it in 2 days.
That game looks. I watched it. So I watched it on Nextlander because Nextlander was playing it. So I watched a lot of it, and I like it from what I've seen.
Yeah, and my thing is really like, I still want us to play together because like. And like my thing with like all of Supermassive's games where it's like whether it's Dark Pictures or Until Dawn, like because it's a choice-based game, like even if I play it, I want to play it again and I want to play it another time. And like I think all of their games I've played twice because it's like I want to see, like I always do, like I'll play the way that I feel and then I'll like always try to either cater to the characters or just like be totally outlandish with my choices because I'm like I want to see all of the, you know, outcomes and all that stuff. So I'm like I played it the way I would play it, and like I think that we should still play it together because it'll be just totally different perspective and I think it'll still be fun. But yeah, it's so good. And like you collect tarot cards.
Yeah, I know. And then you go to that creepy lady in that van
Yeah.
or whatever. Or not van, but.
Which I thought, I liked that actually, because not only do I like tarot, but I also thought it was cool that, because in all of the Dark Pictures games, you know, you get, and even in Until Dawn, I think you would get the premonitions in the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it was cool to like find a card and then like have to wait. And then you also had to choose what you wanted insight into if you had more than one card.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I like that.
Yeah, it's really cool. Really well done.
Also, the character, like, they just keep getting more and more realistic with like the character designs. Like, there were certain cutscenes where I was like, this looks like a movie.
Yeah, I was about to say the characters. I really like the style that they do because it's a little different.
Yeah.
The style's a little different than what they've previously done. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it looks better.
Yeah, I thought it looked, I thought it was the best out of all of their games so far.
Except for the water. The water looked like shit.
I mean, you can't win it all.
It's true, because I saw that scene with the woman, like she goes in the lake, and that guy is like, he's like modeling his butt on the dock. He's like,
I love him. Like, I didn't know if I was gonna like him at first because I was like, is he gonna be like the douchebag, like jock character? But it just turns out he's just a himbo.
Yeah.
I was like, I love him. I love this character. I liked all of the characters actually. I think it was one of the I think I ended up liking everyone in the end.
Yeah, so far as what I've watched, which I watched maybe like half of it.
Yeah.
Probably watched maybe half, like 75% of it. The character that I don't really like so far is, I'm forgetting her name, but she's like the influencer.
Yeah. I didn't like her at first either, but I came back around.
Yeah, after she like beat some ass and like put some overalls on, which she got out of nowhere.
Right.
Badass.
Yeah, so
that game is, I feel like that game's really good. And also the artwork for the I guess like
the cover.
Yeah, the cover. Yeah. Oh, so well.
I really want that as a poster. Like I think that maybe the deluxe edition came with a poster, but I couldn't. I mean, I could probably still try to get it, but like I bought just the regular edition.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm just like, oh, I love that design.
Did you buy the physical?
I did. I've been buying physical copies of PS5 games now.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that. That's really cool because that cover, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but yeah,
I also haven't canceled my PlayStation subscription yet, so I'm like, could still buy digitally, but like I want to collect them so they have value in the future. I also like owning physical things, so
of course.
Yeah.
Also, I've been playing. Speaking of like collecting and like playing, like I was gonna get a collector's edition of a game, the Turtles, Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge. That game is great. That game is fantastic.
I've been watching people play it. I haven't been playing it myself though.
It's really fun. I mean, I loved I think Turtles in Time
for
Super Nintendo. That was like my game. That was my jam. And I used to play it all the time in like the arcade too. Oh my gosh. And it just sends me back, that game, to all the goodness that once was. And also like they made the moveset really different in a good way because they complicated it a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is nice because it's like it gives it a little bit more interest. So it's not just so button spammy. You're actually like trying to do stuff.
Right.
And April O'Neil, he plays April. I mean, and she it's funny because she's a reporter.
Right.
Ninja Turtles. If no one's familiar with Ninja Turtles, the storyline, and her weapon, like you can like drop like cameras on people and like you shove like the microphone stand as like a move, and I think that's really funny. But yeah, that game and the music is incredible.
Such a good game. And it was funny because I went back this past Sunday to work at one of my old locations, and there were two people in the corner like talking about it, and I was like, I hear you.
Yeah, I see you.
So Yeah, we were talking about it, and I was like, yeah, it's a good game. Bringing back all the classics.
They are. It's retro wave going on. But
God
I feel like Switch, you know how the online is not the best.
Mm-hmm.
It's notoriously not the best ever. And they're actually really behind when it comes to online gameplay and online things.
Yeah.
Shredder's Revenge, that online is super quick. You can drop in, like, you can play a game, people can drop in, drop out, like, instantly. It's really, really good. That multiplayer is fantastic on that game.
Yeah, that's nice. I don't know. I don't have anything else.
I don't have anything else either.
Shall we call it here?
We're going to call it her.
We're going to call it her.
We're going to call it This Is Her.
This Is Her, the movie starring Joaquin Phoenix.
Mm-hmm. It's a sequel. This Is Her.
This Is Her. Yeah, that's it, you guys. We'll be back next week with more, I think more of like a normal, like our normal content. You know, we'll have some news and we'll have stuff to talk about. So until then, you know, just keep supporting us. We are back. We're going to be on a consistent schedule again. Mary and I kind of talked about it last week. So we have a plan. So please listen to us everywhere podcasts are available. You know, like us on Spotify, rate us on iTunes, leave a little comment if you want.
And if you know people that like video games and you guys talk about video games, why don't you just, you know, introduce it?
Yeah. Just send us to them.
Yeah.
In a little box.
Yeah, that's all it takes.
Yeah. You can watch us on YouTube too. Mary does a great job putting everything together. So please watch us on YouTube. Please.
Absolutely, please. Do it, please.
Ring the little bell so you know when we post.
Yeah. And I do really appreciate everyone who listens. I know that it's been kind of, you know, a little strange recently just with all the changes happening, but I think it's going to be for the better, and I think we're going to be stronger for it.
Yeah.
So,
you know what we should do is you and I should get green screens, and then we should green screen the set behind us.
That's a good idea. I do have a green screen in the other room. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I should get one of the pop-up ones because I think I also have, when I was making the overlays for OBS, I think I have a photo of the set like without us on it.
Oh, nice.
Because I was like experimenting. So we'll see. That'd be cute.
That would be really cute. All right. Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.